You're listening to the Weekend Sport Podcast with Jason Pine from News Talk ZB.
Tim Robinson is with us with a couple of days to think about it. How do you reflect back on that innings, Tim?
Yeah, that's a good question. I'm struggling a little bit. I sort of reflect on it and think, how bloody tinny to start with. I got dropped a couple of times and then I suppose made the most of that luck and got a few away but I suppose my old man always used to say the harder I train, the luckier I get. So I just keep trying to train a bit harder and then I'll get even luckier. So yeah.
Well, I think there was probably some luck there, but a high degree of skill as well. When you're going like that and the ball's coming off the bat like it was, does instinct kind of take over?
Yeah, I think a huge amount of it is, especially when the ball's coming at you at some pace. You kind of not drift away, but you sort of get into a bit of a mental state where you're just kind of standing there and watching the ball, and then all the training and stuff like that takes over. But I suppose there's no substitute for swinging hard, and it came off, which I was pretty pleased about.
You must get pumped up though when the ball's flying to and over the boundary like it was. Is it difficult to keep the adrenaline from overpowering you and to try and keep a cool head?
No, I love it. It's fantastic, guys. The hitting sixes is addicting. I remember watching Adam Gilchrist talk about it, and he said, I just love the feeling of the ball coming off the middle of the bat, and it's a statement that totally rings true. It's actually a phenomenal feeling, just whacking one and then the split second later, and you're watching it sail into the air. It's addicting, which I suppose can be a little bit dangerous, but also, it's a phenomenal feeling, Piney.
There was some real emotion, it looked to me anyway, in the celebration of your 100. It looked as though this innings meant quite a lot to you, Tim.
Yeah, I suppose I'm not usually an emotional kind of guy, but I suppose you had a bit of an average run last season, and definitely spent a fair bit of time thinking about things and trying to get back on track. And so I suppose it was good to really good to see some of the stuff that I'd done and worked on and it coming to fruition, I suppose. But yeah, no, I was stoked, and to be honest, I don't really even remember it. I was just sort of so in the moment, to be fair. And you kept going, and then on the last over, it looked as though you were out caught on the boundary. You made it all the way back to the dugout. Then it was revealed the fielder had stood on the rope, so you had to go all the way back out. What was that like? Yeah, well, I thought it was over for all money, to be fair. I saw him catch it, throw it in, and he was as cool as a cucumber. So I was wandering off and thinking I'd down a quick powerade before going out the field, but then the hairy jab was on the sideline, and he said, "Hold your horses, mate. You gotta, we'll check it on the TV." And thank goodness he did, because I started walking all the way back out again, which was kind of odd. It was an innings full of second chances, I reckon. Yeah. So yeah. Amazing. And then you smacked a few more and then did get out. At least it meant you got two ovations. We'd given you an ovation all the way off the first time, and then you got a second one. Yeah, I know. It was bloody tinny, eh? So no, it was really strange, to be fair. Yeah. Oh no, I loved it. And as you say, dropped first ball. It's a game of fine margins, isn't it? You talk about the challenges of last summer, but I guess you kind of just got to ride your luck, do you? Yeah, I think cricket's one of those games that sort of, it can either, sometimes it feels like it's against you, and then sometimes it works in your favour, like it did yesterday. And I think I had a couple of games, or a fair few games last season where everything seemed to you get an LBW decision, or people would guys would take great catches on the field, and you'd be walking off thinking well, that's pretty stink. But I think it was just a prime example of you sometimes just get a bit lucky, and you got to, suppose, make the most of it when it is your day. And it was my day, and it was just all sort of a blur that I came out of the other side of that good luck and made it count. So yeah, I was pretty stoked. Yeah.
From memory, you've batted mainly in the middle order for Wellington in T20 cricket. How did the opportunity to open the batting come about?
I sort of started opening the batting in a couple of years ago when I first jumped on, and I loved it. It was fantastic, you just go out and watch the ball and play your shots, and then I had a sort of a bit of a downturn of form, and then started working my way down the order steadily, and then somehow managed to get a great opportunity again, the top of the order and some of the one day stuff, and then the 2020s, and so it's the best place to bat in a 2020 game, that's for sure.
And you're still very early in your career, and I hope there's many, many fine days ahead of you, like the one we saw at the Basin. But how have you learned to navigate the inevitable ups and downs of this game?
That's a great question. There's a huge amount of stuff that I love doing outside of cricket. I love my diving and hunting and being in the bush, and so does my brother, and we're out all the time chasing animals, and I think that's the kind of stuff that keeps you grounded, I suppose. It's if you put all your eggs in one basket and they all come crashing out, it can be pretty tough to I suppose keep your head level on it, so I love doing that stuff and try and do that as much as I can, and it's sort of it's almost an escape, when you're under the water and holes looking for crayfish. It's pretty hard to think about anything else. So so that's what I love doing, and I think that's been been so great for cricket and trying to I suppose make sure my head's on the task when I'm playing. So yeah.
And did you feel in pretty good nick coming in, because you got some Ford Trophy runs, you got 50 odd against Canterbury, and you've got starts in all of the other games pretty much as well. Did you feel in pretty good nick?
Yeah, I think so. I think you sort of have a winter of training, so it gives you the confidence to go out there and trust everything that you've done, and it's pretty hard to go out there and start thinking about where's your back foot going or where's your hands going and all that kind of jazz. So yeah. It was it was a really productive winter that kind of gave me it gave me the confidence, I suppose, to just go out there and watch the ball and try and hit it to the moon. So so it was. I think it was a lot of the winter which gave me, I suppose, the technical confidence to just go out there and just watch the ball.
And you Wellington College old boy?
I sure am.
Yeah. So how was it looking up at the old school as you were hitting it all around the basin?
Yeah. It's kind of. This sounds a bit cliche, but I remember as a kid going down to the basin and watching Devon Conway's 300, and I was in school uniform, probably with my socks down and my shirt untucked. But no, it was it's kind of weird. You don't really notice it until I actually had Roger Moses, my old principal. He comes down and we always have a yarn, and he's a real good bugger, and those are the kind of moments where that's some of the people really care about what you've been up to, and that's really humbling, So there's I have a great connection to Cole, and I always will, and I haven't really reflected on that, to be honest, Piney. Yeah,
so good though, mate, so good. And presumably, once the game was all over and you'd got yourself sorted out and got your phone back, your phone would have been blowing up, no doubt.
Yeah, no, it was good. It was good. I love having yarns to people, so it was another good excuse to get a few people on the blower, and that's another. I don't like a huge amount of attention, but it was great to hear from some family and friends and stuff like that, and and especially my old man and my brother and stuff like that. They were having a great time at the farm watching it on TV, and so to get some messages and a call from them was probably that was a highlight.
Terrific innings, mate. Great way to start the Super Smash season with Wellington. Long may that sort of form continue. Thanks for having a chat to us, mate, and as I say, I hope it continues deep into the summer for you.
Yeah, cheers, Piney. Good on you, mate.
Thank you, Tim. Tim Robinson there. What a top bloke.
For more from Weekend Sport with Jason Pine, listen live to News Talk ZB weekends from midday, or follow the podcast on iHeartRadio.